Welcome to another edition of the Visionary Lens, our conversation series featuring industry experts and thought leaders exploring the evolving world of insurance through the lenses of risk, technology, talent, and customer trust. I'm delighted today to welcome Ms. Sheela Ananth, whole-time director and CEO of Narayana Health Insurance. With over 2 decades of leadership experience in the health insurance ecosystem, Sheila ma'am has played a pivotal role in advancing customer-centric healthcare solutions, operational excellence, and innovation across industry. Today, she's leading Narayana Health Insurance with a vision to make quality healthcare more accessible, affordable, and trusted by bringing together healthcare, technology, and insurance. Sheila, ma'am, it's a pleasure to have you on the Visionary Lens. We look forward to hearing your perspectives on the future of health insurance and how the industry can build greater trust, resilience, and value for customers.
It's a pleasure being here with you.
Sheila, ma'am, I've heard this so many times, especially from younger people. I'm healthy, I work out, I eat well. Do I need health insurance? So I think many of us have probably said that at some point in time. What do you think about this approach, ma'am?
You're absolutely right, but the very fact is that, people who are younger, actually at the age of 28, people say that insurance can wait for me. But what exactly happens is, and I speak to many of them, and they don't have an health insurance. And being in this sector, I continue to ask people. But one incident in anybody's life actually turns it around for them. So insurance is very good, health insurance, especially only when bought earlier in life.
Very true. People plan vacations months in advance. They upgrade their phones also. They invest in gadgets. But planning for health sometimes gets pushed down the list, isn't it?
Yeah, Radhika, actually, it's not only on the health insurance. Planning and working out on health itself always gets postponed because we end up buying phones, we want end up buying very expensive branded bags, we want to go on vacations, we want to do all that. But when it comes to taking care of our own health, when it is about walking or exercising or strength training or waking up in the morning and doing things and buying a health insurance, especially, is a big no no. It is more of people are not aware until something hits them. And so that is the reason, it's always postponed.
I think another thing that keeps people away is confusion. Sometimes people say insurance is so complicated that I don't really seem to understand all the terms and conditions.
So basically, I think what happens is when we buy a health insurance, I am sure at least the Zen Z and the Zen Alpha and the Zen
Yeah.
Beta would do it better. But what happens is when we buy in health insurance, usually it was initially being sold by somebody to us. So we used to just sign up a document based, more so because there's a lot more pages to read. So as an insurance company, and even at Narayana Health Insurance, what we are trying to do is that, specify and simplify the process of taking insurance. And we're also making a one-page
Right.
document which is like easier for people to read and
Oh,
understand, saying what is the
right.
benefits in that insurance policy. That's easier for you to understand, because what happens is people get complicated. They don't understand, saying what is a room rent, what is a copay, what happens. So because of that itself, they are not prepared for it, and it hits them money when they go to the hospital.
Now, when we say building trust, it feels bigger than just one company or one product trying to achieve that, isn't it? What are your thoughts on that, ma'am?
That this entire trust is, let's take the ecosystem that is in place. Okay, so you buy an policy, so you there is a person who buys the policy, so he's a policy holder. You're buying it from an insurance company. Tomorrow when something happens to you, you go into a hospital,
Yeah.
so that is a third entity. Then off late we also have an entity where the wellness and technologies piece is also attached in the insurance policy. So with all the four of them, what happens is, for a human, it becomes a little more complicated. The person doesn't think, saying, "Oh, I bought
Yeah.
it from this insurance company. And then there is, sorry, I forgot the angle of a
Yeah.
third party administrator. So with all this piece, they don't know whom to contact and what to do. But for them, I have moved into a hospital, and all
Yes.
that I need from for me is that help me. I am in distress. That is the thought process that is running in their mind. And as you said, building trust. Yes, it's a big ecosystem. So today, if you notice that all of us are trying to come together and see how we can simplify things for the person who buys insurance, because the vision of the entire nation is like insurance for all by 2047. So if all of us come together and simplify things for a person, they will be able to buy an insurance policy.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Now, today everything is becoming digital, isn't it? Apps, AI, online services. It's just a little overwhelming. Now, how do we keep healthcare human in the midst of all this?
See, Radhika, I think I've been saying this I've
Right,
been
right.
there, you had rightly said, for almost more than a decade. So, more than 2 decades now. So, basically, what happens is, irrespective of technology being in, okay, there is a chatbot, there is a call center, there is an automated WhatsApp, you can chat. Lot of things are there, but what happens is, especially when it's concerning a health, you want an human intervention. Okay, so you feel I have submitted my claim, you will get an acknowledgement that your claim
Yeah,
has been submitted, it is being processed. But
true.
sometimes a person also feels that I need to talk to somebody saying what is the status of my claim, whether it will get paid, whether it will not get. So a human aspect of it cannot go away, especially basically because it is about hospitalization, and hospitalization is something very, very close to somebody because you are already in distress. So a human touch will always remain in some or the other form, whether it is in the
Mm.
hospital, whether it is in the insurance company. It will require a little human touch where you will say, okay, don't worry, your claim is being processed.
Now, one other concern I hear from families across income groups is that healthcare is becoming increasingly expensive. Now, a single hospitalization can wipe out years of savings. We all know that. We've experienced that. How do you see this challenge, and what do you think should be the approach by general public?
I think you've also spent so many years in the insurance sector, right? And what I would say is that people are ignorant about many things, okay? There needs to be a general awareness in people. With lot of technology advancement, even on the medical field, and your lifespan going up, what happens
Yeah.
is that there are a lot of treatments that are available today where your lifespan also goes up. If it's a simple thing, I would say. Initially, we used to say, "Oh, the person got cancer." We only envisaged it with death. But today, we see so many
Yeah.
cancer survivors for more than 10 years, 15 years, they've survived. But
Yeah.
what happens with all the technological development in the medical field, there is always an inflation. It comes with the cost. Anything and everything will always come with the cost.
Yes.
So as a unit, like for the insurance company, the hospitals, and few other sectors can come together and look at how this cost can be brought down. I'm not saying that it should, the cost should not increase at all, but with all of us getting together, we can always see saying how can we best give the person a very good healthcare, we can provide very good healthcare in the hospital for the person, but at a sustainable
Right.
cost for them also. Because one
Right. Right.
surgery, okay, or one ailment can actually bring the family to poverty. So
So,
what happens is, I will take one more minute for you in this place. Basically, because we as an insurance company and hospitals have come together, and we are actually formed a lot of committees where IRDA and also many other CI and everybody is involved. We're trying to see how we can come together and bring this
yeah.
at one place, right?
Yeah.
I
True.
would also say, like Dr. Devi Shetty always says, that when a person who's driving the car and who sits at the back of the car should have an insurance, and they both
Oh,
should have the equal type of insurance. So at Narayana Health Insurance, if you notice, we have bought out a product which is actually 1 crore for a surgery and 5 lakhs for a medical management. We call it Aditi. this 1 crore for surgery, he wanted it mainly because the person, if the family
Mm.
meets the surgery event, it brings them to below poverty line.
Right.
Yeah, so that is the reason. So, if we are able to think aloud and bring things together, we can provide the best of facilities even in healthcare for people.
Now, yet another thing is today everyone is talking about data. Data is the new oil. Now, as someone building a new health insurance company, how important is data and analytics in shaping your business decisions or even our customer outcomes?
Yeah, Radhika. So basically, with the DPDPD Act being in place
Oh,
and that is
yes.
being implemented, I think we all have to be very careful about the data that we use because it's going to be
Mm.
a cause of concern for us. Okay, but having said that, and building the building a health insurance company, data is a very very important part. And for
Right.
us, for any insurance company who comes in, data makes a lot of way for them to build a health insurance company. Not only health insurance, for any insurance company, or for that matter for any startup, the data gives you a lot of insights to build the products that are actually required for any person. So basically,
Right.
data is a gold mine, but it should be used at a very right way.
So, the real opportunity is not simply collecting more data, it's turning the data into meaningful insights that improve lives ultimately. And of course, while maintaining the highest standards of trust. We often talk about digital transformation, but transformation ultimately happens through people. So, what kind of talent will the insurance industry need over the next decade, perhaps?
AI being spoken about,
Yes.
just like, yeah, it's like become like an ABCD of everything, right? So today,
Yeah.
everybody talks about it. So basically, the talent that would be required would be people with an insurance knowledge, people who can work on data, people who can actually use AI to ensure that the data is properly, churned out, and there is a lot of help that comes out on the products that we want to develop. But other than that, the most important factor would also be, because especially in the health insurance sector that I come from, and
Right,
basically what would be required is an empathy.
right.
So, because whenever you get to understand the person is in the hospital, we are already in distress. The only thing that you can do at that point of time is just have an empathy for them. So, basically, that would be the talent that is required.
Now, if you could bring about one change across the entire healthcare and insurance ecosystem over, let's say, the next 5 years, what would that be, ma'am?
So basically, our priorities would be, see, for example, today we are trying to build trust in the entire ecosystem. So if you notice, as Narayana, as a hospital has entered into the insurance. So when you have a person who's providing you insurance and your healthcare provider is the same, especially with the wellness that
Yeah.
we also are trying to build in, and preventive healthcare will become a major role player here. So the
Oh,
moment, what, it's not that I don't want to pay the claim. It's about saying, how do I keep you healthy? So if we are able to, plan a lot of things for people to stay healthy,
yeah.
so that there is a lot of safety for
Yeah.
people around, and people stay healthy, and longevity is increased. That is one thing. But as a visionary, I would like to bring all these
Yes.
hospitals and insurance companies and everybody together, so that we can make healthcare more affordable for people, and we can also have sustainable premiums on the health insurance, so that they are able to purchase a health insurance policy. And I would also like to leave a message for people, saying, please buy a health insurance policy as soon as possible. It's not that you have to wait till you become a 50 or a 60, because then you will not get a policy. When you buy a policy earlier, what happens with you
Right,
is that you have a continuity of that policy. Okay.
right, right.
And that continuity helps you in the long run when you start aging in your life. So the premium that you pay when you start early is always lesser, and you can always, increase your sum insured at the later stages in life. I think that's the message that I want to leave with people, because today healthcare will become costlier, And today, with all a lot of ailments that keep coming up suddenly, we need to have a health insurance protection for ourselves.
On that note, Sheila ma'am, thank you so much for joining us on the Visionary Lens and for sharing your insights and your vision so generously today with us on the evolving landscape of health insurance.
So much, Radhika. It was a pleasure being with you on this podcast. Yeah, I'm always here. As far as I can spread the knowledge to people, and if people are able to buy more and more health insurance, I think both of us would succeed in this entire vision.
And to our viewers, thank you for being with us. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to think differently about health, about protection. And until next time, stay informed, stay protected, and keep looking at the future through the visionary lens. Thank you.